welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in today's video I'm going to share you the journey I took to create my own yarn wall. So it's not completely finished, but I'm going to take you on the journey where I decided on what I wanted to do with this yarn wall and what I ended up doing, as you can see in the background. So I had this empty space behind me and I always wanted to put some yarn there, but I wasn't sure on how I wanted to do it. And I had a couple of ideas of what I wanted to do, but it just ended up not working out correctly, or it turned out to be a little bit too pricey to be making the yarn wall that I actually wanted. So the very first idea that I had was, we have some wood left from a cupboard that we put into our home, and I wanted to use that pressed wood to build those cubes, that white cubes that you always see in the background of most crocheters. I wanted to put the shelving on top of this counter and build it up all the way to the top and make little cubes so I could put my skeins of yarn into the cubes, but it didn't work out quite so well. We didn't have enough wood and it would have been a bit too pricey to get enough wood to actually build a complete cupboard as the way I wanted it. Then the second option was to look at cubes, those wiring cubes that you see that most crafters use at the craft market. I wanted to go ahead and use one of those, but it ended up also being too pricey, and I would have ordered 18 cubes at least to fill up the wall, and it was a bit too pricey, and I wasn't sure if I would like the wire cubes and it would fit in with my style that I currently have. With my little yarn office is mostly like the wooden cupboards and the wooden shelving and the wooden floating shelves, and everything is kind of woody or with a wood material, and it felt cheap to actually just have a wiring cubes on the back. So I decided against that as well. And then another thing is, there was going to be too many holes that needed to be drilled into the wall to attach all the cubes together and keep it nice and tidy, so that the wiring of the cubes didn't hang and move. And these walls are a huge problem to be able to put in nails in and drill holes into them, because if you drill a hole into them, they literally fall apart, because they were made with redstone bricks, and redstone bricks are super soft. If you drill into it, a big piece, a big chunk can fall out. So that was another problem with the wiring cubes, is that the fact that we needed to drill in too many holes and into the wall, and it wouldn't have worked. It would have been messy, and would have struggled to keep them onto the wall. And of course, with searching for ideas for a yarn wall and ideas to make a yarn wall, TikTok, the algorithm played in my favor, and all these TikTok videos started popping up of these ladies using pegboards to make their yarn walls. And that's when the idea struck me that my mom has some of these pegboards in her storage room that I'm certain we're not using anymore, because we haven't used them for quite a while at the expos. They were just standing there, and I sent her a message and asked her, listen, do we still have these? Can I get 2 of them, because I wanted to make this type of yarn wall? And she said yes, she does have them, and she ended up giving me 2 of them, and I got the pegs from her as well, because I mean, they're not using the pegboard, so they're not using the pegs as well. So she gave me some of the pegs, and then I created this one. So in the rest of the video, we're going to go through all the steps that we took to create this. This is literally all hand-me-down stuff that I used, and I just fixed them up and I painted it. And I painted the cute little bees on there because my logo is a bee, of course. And then I just started adding the yarn there. I still have lots of yarn that I need to roll up into cakes, but that will be in time that I will add that as well, because I have so many stuff that I need to do as well and finish up. So, but this is what it looks so far, and I'm super excited. I started taking photos of my animals and my amigurumi in front of it, and it looks gorgeous. I just love the idea of the yarn in the background. If you want to watch what I did and how we made this, then just continue watching, and we're going to go through step by step of the process of everything that it came together and I created this yarn wall. So just ignore what this place is looking like at the moment, but I got these pegboards from my mom and they use it for the expos and stuff for the markets, but they're not going to use them anymore. So I'm going to recreate this into a yarn wall. So I'm going to ask my hubby to cut down the legs. So he's going to cut down the legs there, and we're going to use this entire board just as it is, and we're going to attach it to this wall, like just mind what it looks like at the moment. So we're going to attach the one board to this wall and then to the other wall as well, and all of this stuff is going to go away, and then I'm going to create a yarn wall with the yarn cakes that are in that cupboard so that I can have space for the new yarn that I ordered this week, because currently that cupboard is like totally bursting out of its seams. There is no more space to store any more yarn, but there's a lot of old cakes or yarn that I rolled up into cakes, and they're taking up so much space in the cupboard. So I was thinking creating a yarn wall with those cakes using these pegboards. So I'm going to paint them the same color pink as the cupboards, and then I'm considering of painting bees on them as well, because my logo is a bee. So painting big bees all over them, because if I don't cover the entire pegboard with yarn yet, I will have the bees on the board as well. I need a little bit of a fix up. As you can see, the little bit damaged over the here standing in the storage room, but I think if we add a little bit paint and wood filler, it's going to look good. So once this pegboard is up and I've added yarn onto this pegboard, I want to get rid of this cupboard behind me, because I want to put a table there so to have more space for my YouTube videos and taking photos. So here is the boards now painted and done. Did I plan out where to put the bees? No, I did not. I just randomly placed them wherever I thought was good, and I just painted them there. So they're going to be there. I mean, bees fly around. They're never in one spot. So there was no planning around this. This was just, I want to add some bees and I'm going to paint some bees. And I just took the paintbrush and I just started painting bees. So this is the one board. And then this is the second board. And then we're not going to put them on just now, because we live in a house where if you make a hole into this wall, as you can see, if you just make a little small hole in it, it falls out because it's made with red sandstone. So it's extremely soft. So as you can see, he had to make the holes and then he had to fill up the holes again. So we have to wait for them to be completely dry, otherwise the boards will be falling out of the wall. And yeah, so this is just messy. So hopefully we can get it done by Monday, or well, tomorrow, and then Monday I can start putting on the yarn onto the yarn wall and clean up this space, because it is now completely trashed and messy, and everything is just put in one corner just to keep everything away from the dust. So yeah, everything's just there, and hopefully by Monday I can sort it out. I mean, and extremely hot today. It's like 31 degrees today, so we are extremely hot. And yeah, I had a little bit of sunburn now with painting the boards, because I painted them outside. So yeah, but that is my plan so far, and that's how far we come today. Monday I can put the yarn onto the yarn wall. So my plan is to put the pegs like in the shape where the bees are not flying, so that the yarn is literally between the bees. Or if I have so much yarn, they're going to probably cover the bees, but I don't actually want to cover the bees at the end of the day. I'm going to try and put the pegs here in this corner and go down and put it in this corner and go down, put that corner. I don't have that much cakes. Like there is not, like just this middle section of the cupboard behind it is filled with cakes. So I don't think I have so much cakes that it will actually fill up the entire space. But then I also have the backboard, and this one has a little bit more space than this one. Because when I painted the bees, when I painted this one first, I thought about it would look cute if I could place the yarn in between the bees instead of over the bees, because that was the original plan, is having the bees behind the board, and if the board got empty for me using the yarn, you will be seeing the bees. But afterwards I decided it's going to be look cute if I have like the yarn cakes in between the bees, and the bees will be sticking out of the yarn wall. So yeah, that we changed the pants. So that's why I made less bees on this one, so to have more space for yarn. So I don't have any pegs right now, but this is what the yarn cakes will look like. And then it will be placed onto the board like this, and then I will put it between the bees all the way. As you can see, it will fit nicely close to the bees. And here down here, we can place it like in between the bees, so it is open all around the bees and have the yarn in between. So it's going to be like this. So it's Monday morning. On Saturday evening, we decided to go check and see if the wool is dry enough, and it was, and we could put the boards on. So the board is on now. I went to my mom and I went and fetched the pegs to put into the board, and then I'm going to pack out the yarn and put the yarn on. So yeah, that's it so far, and I am super excited about what it looks like. Okay, so the first board is done. I just took those two skins just to fit and see how far apart they should be, and I'm just going to put on the yarn, and then we're going to start with the second board. So this is the color scheme I'm going for when I'm putting them onto the yarn wool. So it's going to go from yellow to green to orange, red, pink, purple, light pink, beige, light blue, dark blue. So that is the theme that I'm going for on this yarn wool, is to go with this color scheme. Okay, so this is how far I have gotten with the yarn wool for today so far. I did realize when I went back and I looked at the TikTok videos that I found my inspiration from, the cakes are too wide apart from each other and should be much closer to each other. But I will, with time, just move them up and put them closer to each other. But so far, I'm very happy with how it turned out and how it's looking. It's not looking too bad. I know my pegs are a little bit too long, but that's all that I have at the moment. I will probably replace them at time with that little white plastic peg, so you don't see the tip of the peg sticking out. So it's just the yarn cake. But so far, overall, I am very happy with what it looks like. And it's just like everything is a working process, you know. And hopefully I can get it done by the end of the day. So I did start pegging the second board, and I decided to put the pegs a little bit closer to each other because this side, they are a little bit far from each other, so there's gaps in between. But like I said, I actually like the gaps, but there I did place them closer to each other. And yeah, so we're going to see if it looks better with pegs closer to each other. Otherwise, I will just be putting pegs in between, as you can see in the row, in between each skin or each cake, and just fill up this wall a little bit more with more pegs. I hope you enjoyed that video and that it was maybe a helpful tip if you wanted to create your own yarn wall. And these pegboards and pegs you can find at any local hardware store. It depends on where you live, but most of them sell them by meter. And what we did is, or what was done to these pegboards is, my dad did put wood strips behind them far away from the wall. It just makes it easier to insert the pegs not really against the wall, so you don't scratch the wall with the pegs when you put them in, and you don't have to pull the pegboard away from the wall to get the peg in, because some of the pegs, their legs at the back are a little bit long, but otherwise with the little wooden frame behind the pegboard, it's so easy to just insert the pegs. And yeah, what I use is the two pegboards, but like I said, you get them at the hardware store. The pink paint I just got from the hardware store as well. These are painted with normal craft paint, some acrylic craft paint that I had here in the cupboards when the kids are painting and stuff, so I used. And then I just outlined the bees with some acrylic paint that I got from the craft store. So it was easy peasy. It's really not that difficult. So if you like this video, like and subscribe for more. I want to be posting more videos like this where I'm doing something in my yarn room or where I'm making something, and then share the process with you guys. If you like and enjoy watching these types of videos, let me know in the comments, and I will see to be making some more of them.